All right, gang. 18,000 people here tonight, $4.5 million gain. Performance tonight, IWO and Dyer, and fight of the night, Jones and Sola.
IWO?
Who's got the first question? Yeah.
Hi, Dana. I saw John Jones tweet earlier today. Sorry, it's not with a question about the event tonight, but I saw a tweet today that talked about the White House card and how he wasn't offered a dollar over $15 billion, and I felt that the fight was worth more. So I just wanted to get your response to that, essentially.
John Jones tweeted that he was offered not a dollar more than $15.
John Jones was never fighting on the White House card. How many fucking times I gotta say this? He was never fighting on the White House card. I literally have done two press conferences talking about this. These guys went out, found everything that they thought was available and possible, and then I picked the fights. There's no way in hell I was putting him on the card, no matter what the money was. John Jones was never gonna fight on the White House card.
Thanks, Tim.
Dana here. I know you don't like to make fights just hours after fights have finished, but with Movsar Evelev, I can't remember what his win streak is right now, but he's beat a top contender, Robert Murphy, who was red hot after that KO over Aaron Pico. Is he going to be the next guy for Volkanovski?
He doesn't remember how many fights he's at a winning streak right now, but I know you don't like to make fights the day after the fight or the day of the fight, but with him winning somebody like Murphy, who put away Pico in such a fashion, there's probably no question that he's the next one for Volkanovski, yes?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, again, you know, I'm not even thinking about that. The fight just ended. But yeah, obviously he's in a great position.
And something I was wondering if you guys are thinking about, are you guys continuing to monitor the situation in the Middle East? Because obviously we know you like to go to Saudi or Abu Dhabi in June or July, and then obviously the October show. So are you guys monitoring that and potentially thinking of changing plans?
Are you monitoring what's going on in the Middle East? Because we like to go to the Middle East and Saudi and Abu Dhabi in the summer. With the situation that's happening in the world, are we thinking about changing locations?
Changing the location of what fight?
The Middle East fights, the Saudi or Abu Dhabi?
No. As of right now, no. I know it's fucking weird that I need a translator when you speak English, but I can't hear. My hearing's so bad. And if you have a slight accent, I'm really screwed. But yeah, you guys have any other questions?
No.
Okay.
Dana, I'll ask you about a couple of Irish fighters. Ian Machado Gary was here in attendance tonight, and he's been very vocal about the possibility of getting the next title shot at 170 pounds. What's the likelihood that we see him against Islam Makhachev next?
Machado versus Makhachev, is there a possibility? Is it likely? He was here today, Ian Gary. He's very vocal about trying to fight Makhachev next. Is that possible that we see that fight next?
Yeah, like Islam's come back from an injury, a hand injury. As soon as he's ready, we'll figure out what's next for him.
Also on Irish fighters, the Zuffa Boxing Sky Sports deal was announced this week, and the social media posts specifically mentioned the UK and Irish fans. And I'm wondering, what's the likelihood that we get a Zuffa Boxing show back in Ireland in 2026?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we definitely will, yeah.
One other question on that. I am, alongside my day job here, I'm the #1 ring announcer in Irish professional boxing. What's the chances that I could maybe convince you to allow me to announce King Callum Walsh in the 3 Arena in Dublin this year?
Yeah, that's definitely possible, yeah.
Okay, let me know. Hopefully we can make it work.
All right. Why don't you give, show Linnea your stuff. Let me look, get it to her, and then I'll check it out. All right? Thanks.
Dana.
Go ahead, sir. Yeah, you got...
Carl, the company, I've got a question about boxing. Congratulations on Sky Sports Kill. Is there more details you can share?
Congratulations on the Sky Sports deal. Is there more details you can share about the deal itself?
Like what?
When will the first fight be? What sort of thing?
Well, I think the first fight's going to be in April on TV. The first fight here will be May.
Have you got any venues confirmed? Will they be pay-per-view cards, or will they be Sky Sports Fight Night cards?
What's the question?
You have venues confirmed?
No venues or any of that yet.
Will there be pay-per-views, or they will be just on Skynet?
On Sky.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Dana right here.
Yep.
So many people are disappointed with the performance of MVP. Obviously, it's still a win, but what do you make of the performance of MVP? Where do you see him going next?
Many people are disappointed by MVP's performance, and a lot of people are booing. What do you think about his performance, and where do you see him going next?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think it was a great fight either. It was a bad fight. I don't know. You know, he won, so we'll see what's next.
I have a question for you and Hunter as well. Jorgen recently talked about the fact that him and Hunter was talking about the fact that the weight classes were too little in the UFC, and maybe this causes some problems, and there were some solutions that they were talking to you about. Can we know a little more about what those solutions could be?
Who said the weight classes were what?
Your friend Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan was talking that there's not enough weight classes maybe in the UFC. Question for both you and Hunter regarding weight classes?
No, they're going to stay exactly the same. Yeah.
Last question, you said that you were going to come to the UFC in Paris. We know that the Paris crowd and the London crowd are one of the most craziest crowd for the UFC. When are we going to see you in Paris?
Then what crowd is crazy?
Craziest crowd in the UFC is the Paris crowd.
Yeah. That's what everybody says it. Yeah. You know the date we're at in
September.
It'll be September. Yeah. You already knew?
Yeah, I'm
What the hell are you asking me for if you already knew the fight?
Will you be there?
Yeah, oh, will I be there?
Of course.
I will be there. Okay.
You say that the day.
I misunderstood. Yeah, all right. I'll see you in Paris.
See you in Paris.
Yes, sir.
Dana, just over in front of you. A lot of the top guys in MMA, Taporia, Sean O'Malley, Alex Pereira, have voiced their interest in having big super fights in boxing. Does that now make it easier for you to promote them under Zuffa boxing? Are you interested in having those guys have one-off super fights?
One of the UFC guys fighting in Zuffa boxing?
So, like the likes of Sean O'Malley, Taporia, Pereira, you wouldn't be interested in promoting those fights?
No way in hell. The crossover fights suck.
Even like Pereira was rumoured to go and get big money against Alexander Usyk. Would you not see the financial benefits in promoting that?
That's not what we do. It's just not what we do.
But sure.
I want to see the best fighters in the world fight the best fighters in the world. I mean, I'd like to see Jairo Bataya fight Usyk.
I understand what you're saying, but from a business perspective, if then Pereira tries to get off...
There's other networks and other people that do that shit. That's not what I do.
Fair enough.
It's just not what I do. I did it once.
And it was amazing.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it was amazing. It was financially unbelievable. But how many times can you keep fooling people with that? You know, I run a business that every Saturday, basically, I put on fights, right? And we try to put on the best fights with the best fighters in the world. And you hope that the people that came to London, got hotel rooms, bought tickets, and spent all this money to come here, and the people who stayed home on a Saturday got what they were hoping for. You hope you deliver. And what I hope to deliver on Saturdays is as many holy shit moments as possible. And you don't get that from the crossover fights, and that, I don't know. Educate me. I'm right here. I'm drawing a blank. Tell me a crossover fight that you ever saw that you were like, wow, that was fucking unbelievable. And I feel like I just saw the best fight the best.
It just seems like at the moment those are the ones that are generating the most traction online and getting a lot of excitement.
Does it?
It seems like it. It seems like
I would have to fucking completely disagree with you.
Well, a lot of the top MMA guys are voicing they want to have those fights, like Pereira.
Yeah, the fights that pull big numbers are the ones that involve Mike Tyson. Other than that, if it's not Tyson, you know, you're going to always have people that are willing to watch that, but it's just not what I do.
Yeah, no, I agree from a spectacle standpoint, probably from a promotional standpoint, the adverts, the build-up would be cool, but in terms of like an actual fight, I do agree with you.
So what I'm into is the best versus the best. What's at stake? what does this fight mean and where is it? I mean, he was just asking me a minute ago, Mosvar just won this fight. What's next for him? And what does this mean? Is he in the? That's what matters to me. Anybody who's ever been a competitor, I guess you would call it. They take older UFC fighters that don't fight, that aren't ranked or just have big names, built a name here, and then they fight each other for what? For money. And other than that, there's nothing. It doesn't lead to anything. That's not what I do. So if I took my biggest star in the UFC versus a big star in boxing, and they fight each other, and it's a lopsided, horrible fight that means nothing for either of them, what is the point and what's the purpose? It's just not what we do here.
In terms of the growth of Zuffa boxing, so I actually asked you about the ideas you had for Zuffa boxing back in 2018 at the Darren Till Stephen Thompson post-fight press conference. So you've been having this vision for a long time. You have well and truly took the sport of boxing by storm. The beef with Eddie Hearn is a surprise to a lot of people because he said over the years that he's modelled matchroom boxing over the UFC model. Did you think that his signing of Tom Aspinall on a management basis was a direct retaliation to you signing Conor Benn? And what have you made of this whole experience between you and him? Because you were friends at one point.
Yeah, I don't know what the thought process was. Eddie was coming out saying, I look forward to competing with him, and there's things that they don't know about boxing that they're going to learn. And then 2 weeks later, he's an MMA manager. I don't get the move, but
how is that going to work in a sense of negotiations? Because from his perspective, he'll feel like he might want to be in the room or be on those calls with you. Are there going to be certain things that are going to have to be put to one side? You mentioned that you had to do dealings with Tito.
No, I mean, we've dealt with some fucking beauties over the last 25 years. I can promise you that.
Tito wanted to fight Eddie Hearn, didn't he?
Eddie Hearn will be no different. It doesn't matter who the managers are. It doesn't matter at all. We will get deals done with guys. And
the last one from me. You are a beast when it comes to competition. Do you feel like the likes of Frank Warren, the likes of Eddie Hearn, who are obviously having their back up, having been in the industry of boxing for so long, does that light a different fire in you? Because you won't back down from any competition as long as we've known you observing the sport of MMA.
What's the question?
You're a fierce competitor. Having somebody like Eddie Hearn being your competitor, do you think that lights a fire under you? Do you see yourself being competitive with them?
I mean, whoever is out there that wants to compete, I love to compete. I haven't seen anything from anybody yet in the boxing business, to be honest with you. I've seen less than nothing from these guys. And in the last press conference I did after the last boxing match, it's been pretty disappointing, to be honest with you. I expected a lot more. But then, when you look at the state of the sport of boxing, I guess it's not that much of a surprise.
Dana, you're right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, I just want to get your thoughts on looping back to the main event. There's been quite a controversial reaction online. I just want to get your thoughts on how you scored it.
Controversial reaction to the actual result of the main event today. How did you score the fight? There's been backlash about
it. What was the controversy?
Well, people were saying, the round got more rounds, Mosvar, with the point deduction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the judges had probably a draw, and I don't think there's any controversy.
Okay. And I just want to get your thoughts as well on this guy at the back, Paddy Pimblett. We're all dying to see him back in the UFC. Have you got a plan in place for Paddy?
What about Paddy being back?
Do you know when he's back?
Yeah.
When he's going to be fighting?
When are you going to fight again?
Well, that's a white week.
All right, there you go.
Does that sound good to you?
Is that what?
Does that sound good to you?
Yeah. Whenever he wants to fight, we'd love to have him back.
And just lastly for me, it was announced recently Nate Diaz was added to the Ronda Rousey Gina Carano card on Netflix. I wanted to know from you, did you have any conversations with Nate about bringing him back to the UFC? And what was your reaction when you found out that he'd signed to the MVP to fight in that card.
They decided to fight under the Gina Carano run.
Yeah.
Have you had a conversation with him about bringing him back to the UFC before that all helped him down?
Yeah, he came in and met with me a couple weeks ago. We had a good time, and I think Nate just got an offer he couldn't refuse. I haven't talked to him since then, but yeah, no, I'm happy for him.
Does that now rule out him coming back to the UFC now that he's done that?
Is he coming back?
Is that an issue for him to come back to the UFC after that?
I don't know. I mean, let him do his thing, and then we'll see how the fight plays out, and and we'll see what happens.
Dana here, piggybacking off that.
Go ahead.
What's your thoughts on Netflix getting into?
Go ahead.
Sorry. What's your thoughts on Netflix getting into mixed martial?
What are you, a ventriloquist? Holy shit.
No.
Somebody else to stop.
Go ahead, sir.
Me?
Yeah.
I asked. Sorry. You wanted data for?
You were staring at me, and I could hear a voice, and
No, it was you talking to do again. It was great. Simone data for Fight for Yours. We're in Italian media, so I gotta ask. A few weeks ago, out of nowhere, a report came out that the UFC sort of reached a deal or something like that to maybe come to Italy in 2027. I wanted to know if there's anything true about that, or even just an intention of going to Italy as soon as possible, maybe next year.
A few weeks ago, a rumor came out that there was a deal reached with going to Italy. Is that true? Any truth to that? Is UFC heading to Italy in the next couple of years?
well, so we have an entire team of guys that are out there always looking to where we're going to head next on the schedule and play. I'm always trying to go to places we've never been, and I love Italy. I would love to go to Italy. I don't know if that's true right here, right now, but I hope you're right.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
David, just a couple for me.
We have time for one more.
Hi, last one. Hi, Birgit from MMA News in Iceland. I want to ask you how you rate the European crowds, and if you're planning, I'm glad to hear you're planning a show in Paris. Are you planning any more events in Europe this year?
How do I rate the European crowd, and are we coming back to Europe? Is that?
How do you rate the European crowds? I know you go into Paris, but are you planning to come to Europe more this year?
Yeah, absolutely. And I say it all the time. I always tell people, if you've never seen a fight in the UK, you have to. And a lot of places that we go throughout Europe are a great experience for people that have never experienced it.
I know Paddy Pimblett has been asking for a fight at Anfield. Now we have a few rising stars in Liverpool. Is that something you're seriously looking into?
Going to Liverpool?
Yeah, or
Yeah.
Especially Anfield.
Especially Anfield.
Yeah. Yes. So not only with UFC, but boxing, we're going to be traveling all over the UK, like we always do.
Brilliant. Finally, from me, Sean Silva came out and said he was here in London to make a deal to fight for the title. Do you care to comment on that?
Jean Silva said that he was here no matter what was going to happen in the main event today. He was signing to fight Volkanovski next for the title. Is there any truth to that?
We'll have to see. When we announce it, then you'll know it's true.
Okay, one more. So, news about Conor coming back. Now we got Conor and Ian Gary from Ireland. Are you looking at a double card anytime soon?
With Conor coming
News
back?
about Conor coming back. Now you got Ian Gary and Conor McGregor. Are we coming back to Ireland soon?
Yeah, that's a great question. Definitely not with those fights. But yes, I mean, I love Ireland too, so love to go back to Dublin, do a show there. And we're definitely taking Zuffa boxing to Ireland too. But the Conor Gary fight won't be in Ireland.
Sorry, guys, we have to wrap.
Dan,
Good?
one question.
Yeah.
Dan,
Yeah.
obviously tonight there's been some fantastic fights, and since you've been coming to the UK, whether it be Michael Bisping, Paddy Pimblett, Tom Aspinall, there's so many fighters that put on amazing wars. But Mason Jones, he was brilliant tonight. And in terms of entertaining fighters, is he right up there with the most entertaining fighters the UK's produced?
Holy shit.
You had Bisping, Aspinall, you had lots of great English stars. Today, Jones put on an incredible fight. What does it say about the English stars, for one, I believe? What do you feel about the English stars specifically?
From an entertainment standpoint. So,
From what?
From entertainment standpoint, what do you think about the English blokes fighting, specifically the English men?
Yeah.
is he up there with the most entertaining was the question?
Is Jones?
Is Jones the one that fought today one of the most entertaining stars you got, specifically because he's from England? Because
What's the question? Do I like English fighters? Do I think they're great? Is it awesome to bring these guys to England?
Really entertaining.
The answer is yes, sir. I always regret the last fucking questions. I always regret it. I'm kidding. Thank you. Good night.